What's up, everyone? Ben with the BTC Sessions here, and this is your daily session.
Hodl that Bitcoin.
Before we dive into the news, of course, a big shout out to sponsors of the show, Ledn.io. This is where you can use your Bitcoin for a couple of different services. One being Bitcoin-backed loans, so you can get Canadian or US dollars using your Bitcoin as collateral. There's a couple minutes sign up, and you're typically funded within 24 hours. The other is a Bitcoin savings account where you can earn interest on your Bitcoin in Bitcoin. If you sign up using the link I've provided down below, then they will add $50 worth of additional Bitcoin to your account. And secondly, if you are concerned about privacy on the internet, as any good Bitcoiner should be, I recommend you check out NordVPN. I use it myself. It helps encrypt your browsing data, and you can also unblock geo-blocked content. So double bonus there. I use it on my phone and on my computer. So check it out. You can get a deal where it ends up only being $3 a month for a three-year subscription. So be sure to check that out, and let's dive into the news. So Bitcoin price has had a nice day thus far. I put off recording this video until closer to the end of the day, and good thing I did, because it definitely has popped up. It's about it's getting close to up 8% on the day, and it had been kind of having trouble breaking through that 12K mark. Well, we busted through that pretty decisively. We're at 12.3 right now. And so what does that mean looking forward? Well, it only took a few minutes for it to bust $500 upwards. And kind of the resistance level that people were actually looking at was this 1261 or $12,061, because we had peaked just above and then been rejected off of that recently. So having surpassed that, it has kind of opened up the door to touch that 13,880 high that we reached a week and a half back when I was actually in San Francisco for the Bitcoin 2019 conference. Now, if we don't stay where we are and we go back to the downside, then there are some key support levels that we could be looking at. So 11,400, 11,900, both those kind of can provide some support. Also 10,000 and around 10,008 roughly. And if we start dipping below that, then, 9.6, not a nice thought, but I'd like to look at these numbers just kind of to mentally prepare myself for any possible scenario, so that I have kind of an even demeanor about it, so that I'm kind of calm. Because if it does something crazy and I haven't at least seen a number in my head mentioned, then you just get more panicky. Whereas this, if I'm looking, I'm like, okay, maybe it'll go back down to 9. Then I'm not as finicky when it does happen. So anyways, definitely Bitcoin is back to being volatile. That's for sure. We learned that this year. Another interesting bit of news, the new ECB boss is Christine Lagarde. And now she's made a bit of a Bitcoin warning, and she's touched on crypto and digital assets in the past. So she has been nominated to replace the current ECB boss, Mario Draghi. So she will be the president of the European Central Bank. Now, in the past, she has warned that cryptocurrencies are shaking the system, and so she's not always been super against digital assets and cryptocurrencies, but she hasn't necessarily been pro Bitcoin either. Some of the things that she's been happy about have been things like XRP, and then stable coins and like JP Morgan coins. So the establishment version of fiat essentially is what she's down for. So she says, to quote her, "I think the role of the disruptors and anything that is issuing distributed ledger technology whether you call it crypto, assets, currencies, or whatever, that is clearly shaking the system. We don't want to shake the system so much that we would lose the stability that is needed. I find that comment interesting in that stability is a relative term, and fiat currencies are anything but stable when you zoom out. They are on a steadily downward trajectory. When you look at the purchasing power of any fiat currency, it gradually trends to zero. And I guess you could call that stability in the sense of it not being as volatile as other assets, but you know, a form of stability where you're definitely losing purchasing power is not anything that I'm super interested in. I would rather have volatility and even the possibility of increased purchasing power than be guaranteed that my money will be worthless if I save it. So again, to each their own, and obviously somebody that's now the president of the ECB will be saying these kinds of things. But yeah, you know. And one other thing here now, if you're on Twitter, you probably saw earlier today that there was video from inside the office of Tron in Beijing, and there was literally an angry mob and police lining the inside of the Tron offices. And the angry mob was putting up a huge stink and saying Tron is a scam and we lost all this money and freaking out. And, you know, crypto Twitter was having a field day with it. But there's more to the story there. What actually was happening is there was another scam, like, okay, there's scams and then there's scams. So Tron, I already look at it as it's a little scammy sounding to me, but a full-on blatant scam also took the name of Tron and BitTorrent and ended up scamming a lot of people out of a lot of money, actually to the tune of $30 million. And it actually also resulted, unfortunately, in one suicide. So some of these things, it's really no joke. It's really unfortunate this kind of crap continues to happen. But essentially, all these people that got scammed by a totally different entity thought it was this Tron and their head office in Beijing. And so they stormed in and were causing a big disturbance. And they were essentially, they had the pitchforks out, not literally, but figuratively. And it was actually the people working at Tron that called the police to protect themselves from the angry mob that was confused about who they were. So while I don't like Tron, in this instance, the people that were angry had their anger misplaced because they had lost their money elsewhere. I'm sure there's plenty of people that have lost their money on Tron and are rightfully angry, but this was not the case here. So, when you see stuff on crypto Twitter, dig a bit deeper, take it with a grain of salt, see what's happening. Anyways, I did want to touch on a video that I made over the weekend, and I'm very, very excited to have made it. And that video is all about the Wasabi Wallet. So this is how you can use CoinJoin to help protect your privacy with Bitcoin, because as many of you know, Bitcoin is not anonymous by default. It's on an open ledger. Anybody can track it. And if you have coins that have been linked to you by buying on an online exchange or paying for a service, all of that links back to your identity. And unless you use technologies like CoinJoin, or Samurai has something called Whirlpool, then you essentially run the risk of anybody being able to figure out not only how much Bitcoin you own, but also what you're spending your Bitcoin on. So, they can get a pretty good picture of exactly how much money you have and what you're doing with it. And just in general, if you're a privacy conscious individual, that's not ideal. And that's why I recommend checking out Wasabi Wallet. So this is a relatively in-depth video. It's 25 minutes. It literally covers all the way from setting up to funding the wallet with Bitcoin, to actually doing a coin join, to understanding what a UTXO is and how to be careful with it so that you don't actually accidentally de-anonymize yourself, and then sending money back out of the wallet. So it covers a lot. Feel free to flick through it. But yeah, I'm very happy. And actually, I've got to thank everybody. The response to it has been pretty tremendous in the first couple of days. And I'm very happy that people are finding it useful. So thank you for that. And with that, guys, I'm going to start wrapping up. Thank you very much. Short video today, but if you want to help out the show, a couple things. You can hit subscribe, like, and share. I just revamped my website, so feel free to go and check that out. And I've got an event coming up in Calgary here for very, very beginners. So I know a lot of you are not very beginners, but if you do know of somebody that may be interested, feel free to send them to the link down below. And I'm actually doing an affiliate program with this one. So if you're in the Calgary area and you want to help get people out to this event, I am offering $40 per ticket sold to anybody that helps me sell tickets. So be sure to hit me up with that. So if you enjoyed what you saw, you can feel free to drop me a Lightning Network tip at my tippin.me page. And with that, I am out. Thank you, guys. And I will see you tomorrow for your daily session.